Hey guys, sorry about that. I completely forgot that my microphone was not turned on. I apologize for that. I'm glad I caught that before I did. I actually thought I turned it on, but I guess I didn't. Okay, well let me start again from the top. Sorry about that, guys. I think I pressed the wrong button when I was trying to unmute the microphone. Anyways, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for being here for the next episode of New Earth Teachings Live. And the very first half hour, we're going to be getting into healing. So single request, healings from the audience. And then, of course, in the last half hour, we'll be going into Q&A. So that'll be any questions for myself or questions for Adronis. So, yes, sorry about that. It's just, I first forgot. I thought for sure I was pressing the microphone button to unmute. But again, I'm glad I caught that before I got too deeply into everything. So let me, again, like I said, just start back from where I was. We're just going to start off with announcements. So again, is the Mount Shasta Spirit Ambassador Retreat and Activation. So again, this is happening from August 16th to 25th. You can go to newearthteachings.com and you can just find this poster on the homepage and just click on the poster and you'll go to the event page. And of course, we're going to be doing some really exciting things with the Spirit Ambassador Retreat. We're going to be, again, exploring Mount Shasta. We're going to be going through waterfalls. We're going to be going to lakes. We're going to experience a pyramid as well, too. We're going to go into Pluto's cave. And, of course, we are going to do the time travel remote viewing experience. So for those of you who, again, may be asking, well, what is that all about with a time travel remote viewing experience? What it entails is being able to go into, like you would understand, remote viewing through meditation and being able to work with spirit and actually being able to see Mount Shasta hundreds or even thousands of years ago. And again, we are conducting organic research. And so we're actually going to document what we're able to experience as we go into a collective group consciousness and actually start to witness what Mount Shasta was like hundreds or thousands of years ago. And we may even start to talk to the Telosian civilization as well too, start talking to other extraterrestrial civilizations, Lemurian civilization as well too. The sky's the limit. We're going to do all kinds of things. And of course, we're going to have vehicles that'll be taking us to each and every single site. We're going to have lodging available. It's going to be a really incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience. And of course, this is all part of a certification course so that you can learn how to use the spirit light codes as you'll be initiated into that. And you'll also be working as an EQ method practitioner as well. So a lot of exciting things are in store for the Mount Shasta Spirit Ambassador Retreat. I could go on and on and on because it is a very, very big event. But my recommendation would be just go to newearthteachings.com, click on the poster, and then you'll find the event page on the Empowered Light website. So again, this is being co-hosted by Empowered Light Expo. And of course, secondly, we will go to the South Africa tour. All right, so this is happening September 2019. I've actually already got my flight booked, so everything is good for me to go to South Africa in September with Michael Tallinger, and of course, talking about the Anunnaki, mankind, giants, and gold. We're again going to do the same type of remote viewing experience as well too, connecting everybody together into spirit and seeing these sites hundreds or thousands of years ago as well too. So again, to sign up for this, just go to wonderworld.vacations and you'll see the Cosmic Exploration Tour of South Africa with Michael Tallinger and myself. So again, I'm really looking forward to these two amazing adventures. This is going to make my whole summer. Being able to go to Mount Shasta, doing this incredible work with everybody, and then of course going to South Africa shortly after that and doing some incredible work over there and some teachings as well too. And of course, being alongside Michael Tallinger, it's going to be a great honor. Okay, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with today's webcast. Again, thank you all for being here. I'm just going to be scrolling up to the very top of the chat. Like I said, if you guys do offer donations, that's great. That just puts you in priority line. And of course, I always look at those donations as something as a great gift. And of course, I'm happy to give gifts back relating to that. So that's just happened in the past. So if that does happen, then you guys will be in priority lineup. But for now, I'm just going to look into the top chat here. Okay, I have a request here from Butterfly Girl, 1871. Hi, Brad. Please, can you heal and clear my heart chakra? Okay, well, we can certainly look into that. Butterfly Girl. I'll just call you Butterfly Girl for short. So, what I'd like everybody to do when you're as you're getting ready, and I apologize, I kind of look like I'm semi-transparent. I kind of look like a hologram. It's because I'm wearing blue and it's pretty close to the green, so my body kind of looks semi-transparent. Don't worry about it, guys. I am real. That's just the green screen and a little bit of the blue screen meshing together. But anyways, for those of you who want to receive the single request healing, let's just get ourselves into a relaxed, comfortable posture, okay, making sure the body is free of any points of strain. And just feeling your feet firmly placed upon the ground. And we're just going to feel roots coming out to the bottom of their feet. And just feeling those roots going deeply into the ground. And just feeling that brown energy, pulling that brown energy up through the roots, connecting it through the feet, going up to the ankles, going up to the legs, connecting directly to the sacrum. And now just mixing it together with the chakra centers, going into the red of the root, the orange of the sacral, the yellow of the solar plexus, the green of the heart, the thymus gland, the aquamarine color of the throat, the thyroid, the ocean blue of the third eye chakra, and of course the violet and or ultraviolet of the crown chakra. Okay, and we're just going to feel that crown chakra unfolding like a fan, and we're just going to feel that rainbow light just arcing down, cascading down our body, connecting to our feet, and connecting directly into the perineum in between the genitals. And now we're just going to observe the toroidal field, our own aura, our own energy field, and just feeling it slowly rotating as we are now fully grounded and connected to the earth, and are now able to receive the cosmic energies. And let's take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, very good. Okay, so Butterfly Girl, I will get to your request now. So Butterfly Girl, I just want you to place either your hand or your hands, either one is fine, upon your heart area. Okay, and I just want you to imagine that there is like a root, just a root that's coming out of your hand, and it's connecting directly to the heart. Okay, and so I just want you to ask, or rather command, your heart chakra to place any forms of emotional dense energy, physical dense energy from your heart directly into your hand, okay? And I just want you to feel like, I'll give you a few seconds, but just feeling like the hand is getting heavy, okay? So the hand is getting heavy because it's receiving all the dense energy from the heart chakra, okay? So just giving you a few seconds now as you feel the hand getting heavier with this dense energy. Okay, and just hold that energy there as I connect to Spirit now. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, neutralize, purge, and release all of the dense energy, emotional energy from the hand of Butterfly Girl, from her heart, lifting that energy up into source consciousness to be 100% purified. Apply. Okay, so deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so Butterfly Girl, if you're feeling that your hand is a lot lighter, then that is the energy leaving your body altogether. So again, BCR technique, okay? Make sure you're going and you're doing the BCR technique on a daily basis. Now, whenever you guys are having heart chakra issues, or again, if it's heart issues, or if it's organ issues, etc., this is most of the time, again, all emotional blockages, okay? 95% of the time, maybe even 99% of the time. But it's a very, very high percentage, right? It's the emotions, it's the blockages within our emotional selves that completely entangle everything that's happening within our body that represents a disharmony, okay? So we want to use the BCR technique, and we want to, again, also look at the video, Emotional Moods of Entity Attachments, and just grab the PDF document there. I've recently updated it as well, too. So if you guys have already seen that video, Emotional Moods of Entity Attachments, just go back to it and download the updated PDF, because I actually put out an updated PDF there. And again, just follow it to the letter. Start off with the brain and work all your way down to the genitals, okay? And just start cleaning yourself out, right? You gotta get high, right? Not like that, right? You want to get high right here. You want to move up into love energy, and you want to put that energy up high. And now you're looking at a bird's eye view at everything that represents that distortion, and now you can clean it out. Your love energy completely is like a balloon. This is like a balloon that's sailing higher and higher above the sky, and you're just looking at all this muck, this tar, this plaque at the bottom of the ground, representing the emotional debris. And now that we're up this high, we can rain down all of that pure love energy upon the tar, upon the plaque, upon the debris, and that debris now starts to transmute, starts to dissolve, and now it becomes pure love energy as well too. Okay, so we're lifting ourselves up and we're sailing, right? Now again, whenever we're going into the base, that base level of reality is always going to exist. Okay, there will be some reality where those emotions will exist as well still too. But you're not operating on that plane. You're operating way up here, and the balloon is sailing. Okay, we want to be that love balloon. We want to continue to float upwards. We want to continue to move up into that love energy, and then you're completely letting go of all of that emotional debris. You see it dissolving from your reality altogether. Okay, that's all it takes. So what it requires, everybody, is commitment. Okay, if you really want to get better, you have to commit yourself to healing. You have to commit yourself to moving yourself into a love vibration. Don't just heal because you want relief. Okay, if you want to basically just go into healing and say, yeah, but I just want to get rid of this because it just serves a means to an end, then you're not getting it, right? It's just going to come back again. It's going to come back in some other particular form. If you really want to heal, you want to heal this 100% completely to be completely free of it. You want to be completely liberated from this feeling. You want to be completely liberated from these emotions because you're feeling so good being up in this love vibration. That's the key. It's maintaining that love vibration. That's where the pure liberation, the true feeling of freedom lies. Okay, so that's just a reminder for everybody. Okay, so I have a contribution here from C. Megan Michael. Thank you very much. Hello, Brad. Can you please help my? Can you please heal my precious dog's ears? His name is Paws the pup. That's a cute name. He has inflammation and constant itching in his ears. I want him to have relief. Thank you. Okay, so we'll certainly look into that as well. Now, the good thing about animals as well too is they're not resistant towards healing. So another recommendation I would give to you guys is if you just want to start working with your animal companion, I do not call them pets. Okay, that's like a despicable term, and I don't like that. And I always call them animal companions, right? Because they are your companions. Okay. So basically working together with your animal, and when they're asleep, that's the best time to work with them, okay? And what you're doing is you're just placing your hands over them, and then you're calling spirit down, and you're saying, Spirit, please completely soothe and dissolve the irritation in my animal's ears, right? And that starts to help as well too. So I'll certainly do that for you, but I just want to give that a reminder to everybody, because I get a lot of people who are concerned about their animal's health, right? And they think that they have to take them to some person in that way. And they can, but the animal has a really, really strong bond with you, which means you will give a greater healing to that animal because of the relationship that you have with him or with her, okay? So when your animal's sleeping, when they're resting, when they're just kind of, mellow, then you can start going into those particular types of healing. You don't have to have the Reiki healing to connect with your animal, right? You can just start working with him or her just with your own will and your own intention alone, and just bring spirit in and just work with spirit and tell spirit to help dissolve the issue that your animal may have, okay? So I will go ahead and do that for Paws. Again, that's a really cute name. So I will go ahead and connect with his energy now through spirit. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, neutralize, purge, and release all of the inflammation that Paws the pup is facing right now, lifting the inflammation out of his ears and completely canceling out and dissolving the cause for the inflammation in his ears as well, lifting that energy up out of his body, putting it up into source consciousness to be 100% purified, and may his ears be brought back into complete and total health. Apply. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. It's going to be a gradual healing, Megan. So let me know how things go. You can always drop me an email in the next few days. Let me know how things are happening. but keep working with him on your own as well too, right? Just put your hands down by him and just bring spirit in, bring your angels in, bring your legion in, right? And just get them to do some work on him and helping out. So basically, if there's inflammation, there is some particular type of toxin. Could be Epstein-Barr or something of that nature. But again, you just want to look into bringing healing and alleviation, right? If you're basically targeting the source of what that inflammation is, right? Whenever there's inflammation, there's something deeper, right? There's an infection, there's a bacteria, there's a virus, and that's what we're basically looking to pull out. We're not just so much focusing on the inflammation itself. The inflammation is a side effect relating to what is actually causing it through a virus, through a toxin, through a bacteria, okay? Thank you very much, Megan, and blessings to you. Appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to go down the list here. Okay, there's actually an interesting question here from Terry. I guess I'll read it out very, very quickly because it is quite fascinating. I will return in a bit. Just wanted to ask everyone if there are feeling high energy waves and feeling tired or exhausted. I can feel it very intensely today. Anyone feeling this too? Okay, Terry, here's the thing. It's not that those waves are making you feel tired, okay? What's happening is that the energy within yourself is picking up so highly because of the collective waves that are coming in. This is telling you that your body is toxic, okay? These cosmic waves, these energy waves that are coming upon the planet right now that we're feeling within ourselves are not causing us to be toxic, okay? They are lifting up our frequency, and we are noticing that we're toxic because when we tried to get to that frequency naturally, we are therefore getting these reactions, okay? So Terry, you will want to look into your thyroid, you will want to look into your liver, and you will want to look into your kidneys and to your adrenals, okay? Thyroid, liver, kidneys, adrenals, and start cleaning them out, okay? This has nothing to do with the cosmic waves giving you this. The cosmic waves are moving upon the planet. We're moving up into a higher frequency. And our body is, again, telling us there's a lot of toxicity within your body. You got to clean this out so that you can match the energy frequency of the waves that are coming in, right? So this is all happening within you. So you will want to clear that out. So again, this is something I hear a lot on Facebook. Saying, oh my God, guys, it's a full moon and I'm just getting all these headaches and all that stuff. What is the full moon doing to you? Full moon isn't doing anything to you. It's telling you that this is exactly the toxins that you have placed within your body that are now attempting to subside. Basically, being aware of the toxicity within your body so you can clear that out so that when you're experiencing the full moon, you can now feel the full enrichment of the purity of the moon, right? Everything happens within ourselves. We don't blame things on a moon. We don't blame things on cosmic waves. We don't blame things on solar activity of the sun, right? That's all things that are happening outside of us, right? All of this is happening inside of us. It's all of these reminders of energy telling us we need to clear out our body because we are toxic, okay? We need to clean out our thyroid, our liver, our kidneys, our adrenals, our nervous system, etc. Again, like I've said, guys, you guys already have the tools here. I'm giving you guys free tools to completely clear this out, right? BCR technique, emotional moods and entity attachments, PDF. That's all you need, right? You got that. You can do the basics here, right? More advanced stuff, you can come to me. If you need some help with that, you can come to me. But again, you have all this free stuff on my channel for you to really make some really strong recoveries, right? And clearing a lot of this debris out. Don't be afraid to love, right? This is what I just notice so much when I talk to people in sessions. You say, oh, Brad, I don't know what to do. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling confused, etc. You're afraid to love yourself. You're afraid to bring pure love into yourself and start sailing high and clearing away all of this debris that's in the valley, right? You want to raise yourself high as that balloon, okay? But again, everything that's happening is happening within you. And now it's projecting itself without, to giving you an idea about what you're actually going through and what you need to clear up. So again, remember, the incoming waves of energy are not making you ill. They're not making you sick. They're not making you fatigued. Toxins do that, okay? Emotional clogs do that. Stagnancy within your body does that. But the energy is lifting up so much within yourself that you know you have to clear that out so that you can now start to thrive as this energy continues to pick itself up. Okay, that's all part of the journey. That's all part of the process here. Be aware of the signs, okay? All right, moving down here. Okay, I have one here from Sanjeev. Sanjeev says, hi Brad, can you please give me some healing energies and remove any entities if they are attached to my auric field? Okay, so we'll do an aura field clearing. Again, guys, one request, okay? If I see an and, say no, right? One request. So I think for you, I'm just going to work with your energy field and give it some energy in that way and just clearing out any entities there, okay? One request, guys. If you guys have more requests, you go to my website, you go to my sessions, you can grab a healing session with me, or you can grab a full body light code activation, okay? I just do one request per person. I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys that. One request, okay? Because we have a lot of people here that want to have healing as well, okay? So I have to get through this. So Sanjeev, what I'd ask you to do right now is just placing your hands upon the center of your chest. And I just want you to take a moment now, deep breath in, deep breath out. And I want you just to tune into that toroidal field as I talked about in the earlier part of the webcast, okay? And just feel that rotating of the toroidal field. Just feel that connection now. Okay, and I will connect to your energy field now. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, purge, and release any entity attachments within Sanjeev's energy field, bringing pure liberation, pure vitality, and pure increase of daily energy into the energy field, increasing the strength of the aura and increasing Sanjeev's vitality overall, with his aura being completely free and clear of any entity attachments. Apply. Okay, so Sanjeev, just deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving on. Okay, just scrolling down here. Okay, there's a request here from Mary Kern, sorry. Mary Kern. For my garland, Brad, would you give a healing? Thank you. Okay. What do they need? What I'll do is, I guess, because I didn't get too much of a specifics there, I'll just give them some higher vitality energy. And for garland, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, just going to take a moment now to connect with garland. I command Spirit's God Light to completely cancel out, purge, and release any debris within the energy field of garland, bringing pure vitality energy, pure love energy, pure harmonious energy into his energy field, lifting his energies up into higher love states, bringing him into a state of equilibrium, high vitality, and high restoration. Apply. Okay. Thank you very much, Mary, for your request. Okay, going down the list here. Hello from Scotland. Welcome. Hi, Brad. Thank you for all you do. Well, I wouldn't be able to do it if it wasn't for you guys, so I have to thank you guys as much as well, too. You guys are as much a part of all this particular work that I'm doing, you know, with everything I'm bringing out. It's because I'm working with you guys and I'm understanding more about what's going on in the world because of you guys. We're all in this together. Remember that, right? Okay, here's one from Louise Cote. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your last name right. Healing for my sister, Rena, that cannot walk and is in severe pain as she has multiple cysts in her spine. Wow, okay. Well, that would basically require a little bit more deeper healing work, I think, with her. But what I can do is, now here's the thing, again, as I've talked about in the past, is that if I'm doing healing work with other people, right, I really need to know if they're taking a lot of heavy medication, because like I said, if they're taking heavy medication, I can't really do any kind of inner work with the spirit codes with their body, right? So as I don't know that, as she's going through some severe pain with multiple cysts in her spine, that's quite a severe condition, okay? So what I can do is I can just put some vitality energy around the area of the spine, just helping to strengthen it and put some more energy in there that can help with the healing. But that's really what I can do, because I don't really know if someone like that is taking medication, because that feels like a very, very severe condition, okay? So I'll do what I can for Rena here relating to providing some vitality energy for her, okay? I command Spirit's God Light to completely place a vitality field around Rena's spine to where the multiple cysts exist, bringing pure, healthy vitality energy towards the spine, helping through gradual energy to shrink the cysts upon the spine, bringing them into a state of rebalancing, into a state of equilibrium, bringing restoration and rejuvenation to Rena's spine altogether. Apply. Okay. So Louise, again, just let me know how that goes. Like I said, if she's taking some very heavy medication, because if she is in severe pain, that could be quite common. But let me know how things go over the next few days with her, okay? Thank you, Louise. Blessings. Okay. Okay, so there's a request here for clairvoyant ability strengthening. Okay, guys, I don't do psychic strengthening anymore. Okay, that goes to the light code activation videos. That's why I created those videos. They are encoded with specific frequencies, with specific light codes. And you just go onto my channel, okay, light code activation, and you can look at enhancing your psychic senses, okay? And what you're doing is you're just putting an intention as you watch that video, okay? So as you watch that video, as you hear its music, you're just putting that intention and saying, strengthen my clairvoyance, okay? And through the video, you'll be able to determine if your clairvoyance is strong or not. I would say just give it about a day or two after you watch the video. Give it a day or two. But don't just rely purely on receiving the spirit codes. I want you to work for it, okay? If you are completely committed to developing strong clairvoyance within yourself, you should be meditating on a daily basis and just doing simple visualization exercises to strengthening your clairvoyance, okay? So yes, you're working with spirit, you're working with the spirit codes, and it will start to work within you. But again, some of us aren't really meant to have very, very strong clairvoyance, okay? Basically, what will happen is we'll get boost periods, right? We'll have a boost period relating to where our clairvoyance is pretty strong, and it starts to go down a little bit in balance, okay? So if you really want to work in clearing out any blockages that are causing clairvoyant disruption, a lot of that may just represent, going deeper into your spiritual practices, going deeper into your spiritual development, making more of the inner world the reflection of yourself, rather than so much focus and attention on the outer world, okay? So you need to meditate a lot. You need to do these simple visualization techniques. You can naturally strengthen your clairvoyance, like say if it's right about here, you can probably strengthen it to about here, and then we can get boosts, right? And that boost is kind of like a nitro. But over time, it'll just start to go to where you have been able to strengthen it, okay? So you can strengthen it, but a lot of that is just, you have to imagine that you're going inside a psychic gym and you're, bench pressing these muscles of psychic energy, and that's making your clairvoyance stronger, okay? You have to work with it. It's not just a snap of a finger and all of a sudden it's going to be great, right? When the spirit codes work with you, it works with a gradual process. It starts to move it up. It's not just like, boof, you're here, right? It works gradually, okay? But again, you want to make sure that you are committed to this, because you have to understand that your own third eyes are alive and they're living and they're deeply connected with spirit, which means your third eye will decide exactly how much energy it decides to put in through the idea of your clairvoyance. Okay, if you start really committing yourself to it, you really want to be clairvoyant, you have to commit, okay? Commitment is everything. You really want to show, I am completely committed to this, I am dedicated to this, I will strengthen my third eye. Okay, make your inner reality more prominent than your outer reality. And just let these things come to you. Visualize, 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 okay? That's what I can recommend that. So Starlight, go check out the light code activation video on enhancing your psychic senses. That will help you, okay? That's why I don't do psychic enhancements through the broadcast anymore, because those videos are available, okay? Okay, I have one here from Sun Cycles 2000. Thank you for your contribution. Namaste, Brad. What do you think of the collective chakras, upgrading to 3 main chakras? Also knees related to higher heart and thymus. Okay, well, there's kind of a question and a healing request here. So, well, we're almost up out of time for the healing, so I'll have you as the last receiver of the healing for today. Now, basically what you're asking about are the collective chakras, upgrading to 3 main chakras. Well, those aren't chakras, okay? Those are dantians. Those are tendons, if you're looking at them in Japanese, right? Now, basically, we don't have 3 main chakras. We have what's known as the elixir fields, okay? The elixir fields are the 3 minds, right? Upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian down by the navel. Okay, these are not chakra centers. Okay, they are elixir fields. They're mines. So what you're doing is that as you start to work with bringing in chi to clearing out the jing energy, which is referred to almost as a type of kundalini in the lower dantian, you're basically refining the jing energy. Okay, it's what the Chinese refer to as jing. And what you're doing is you're using qi to refine the jing, and you're doing practices like you'd find in martial arts or qigong or Taoist practices, meditation, deep breathing, etc. Emotional, you can even do emotional upliftment as well too, emotional cultivation of qi as well. But what you're doing is you're filling up your lower dantian, and as your lower dantian's jing becomes refined, you move up into the middle dantian. Okay, and the middle dantian deals with emotion. Okay, so lower dantian deals with vitality, middle dantian deals with emotion, upper dantian deals with intelligence or mental wisdom, you could say. So basically, you move up into the middle dantian, you're refining the qi in there. Then when you basically have those two areas filled, you move up into the upper dantian, and it's a combination between the jing and the qi to create shen. Okay, shen again is the name of like spirit energy. Okay, so you're actually completely refining the upper dantian, and you're filling that up as well too. So once all three dantians are filled, what you can then do is you integrate the chakras together with the three dantians. So again, very important. These three dantians are not chakras. Okay, so what you're doing is when you integrate, I talked about this last week, I believe, as well too. Or was it last? Something like that. But basically, when you integrate the chakra centers together, you'll notice a person is doing this by people who can have like auric vision, and they can see that their chakra centers are gold. Okay, when their chakra centers are golden, they've been able to successfully integrate their chakra centers into the dantians. Okay, so this is when I was talking about chakra removal. Okay, please don't do it. Right, it's very harmful. That's just my own particular perspective of it. Right, I've even been talking to Spirit about it, and Spirit feels the exact same way. He says, do not remove your chakra centers. They're there for a reason. Okay, you can certainly advance past them. You can certainly integrate them at that time. Do not ever remove them, though. It can be very, very dangerous. I've met people who have had their chakras apparently removed, and they've been completely unstable. They can't function properly. They can't think properly. They're having problems with their motor functions as well, too. It's not good. Okay, there are some people that are boasting about the idea of chakra removal. You don't need to get your chakras removed, guys. No, that's not the point. That's not the way. That's like saying, oh, my arm's being a pain in the butt, so I'm just going to hack it off. Right? We don't want to do that. We want to integrate the chakra centers. We can move beyond their chakra centers. But again, a lot of it comes through harmony. It's not through these psychic surgical processes. Okay, so I do not recommend that. Again, that's just my own perspective, guys. If you feel you want to get your chakras removed, well, then go for it, right? I certainly do not recommend it. If you want my perspective on that, no, I think it's one of the dumbest things to do. But that's my perspective anyways. Okay, so you were just saying sun cycles. Also knees related to higher heart and thymus. One request. One. Okay. So basically we'll look into the thymus in that way. I'm not too sure about the knees, but we'll work with the thymus altogether because I feel that energetically that's where you could use the most assistance. Okay. So I'll work with your thymus now. So sun cycles, I just want you to place your hands upon the center of your chest. Okay, feeling a root coming out of your hand and connecting directly to the thymus. And now I want you just to connect with the thymus and just telling the thymus, place all dense energy, all emotional energy, all physical dense energy into my hand, or hands, whichever you prefer, and just start to feel the hand or hands getting heavy. Okay, so I'll just give you a few seconds now, just to allow that feeling of the hand getting heavy, placing all that dense energy into the hand. Okay, and now I'll connect with Spirit for you. I command Spirit's God light to completely cancel out and purify and release, purge all of the dense energy contained within Sun Cycle's hand, lifting that energy up from their body, putting it up into source consciousness to be 100% purified, and having the thymus gland completely clear and operational at peak performance and great health. Apply. Okay, so sun cycle, if you are able to see, if you sense that that hand gets lighter now, then that's, again, the energy purging away out of your body. Okay, so hope that helps. I'm not too sure if that's linked to your knees, but if it is, it's good. But again, guys, just one request, please. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. So now we're going to go ahead and move on into Q&A. So thank you again for everybody that participated with the healing. We'll have some more healing sessions, single request healing sessions next week. So now we're going to go down into Q&A now. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading over any comments here. Just from Starlight's follow-up here, she said she feels strongly, but still am not able to visualize as clearly as you wish. I have always wanted to heal, and it would be the greatest gift to be able to facilitate healing for others. Well, here's the thing, Starlight. You don't need to be clairvoyant to heal. Okay? I'm not really clairvoyant myself. When I'm doing these spirit codes, I'm not getting visions. Okay? I'm just getting feelings. Now, this is, again, a very, very common misconception with healers and thinking that if you're a healer, you need to be clairvoyant. No, guys, you don't. Right? With me, all I'm doing is claircognizance. That's my strongest trait. It's the feeling of instant knowing. It's that feeling of instant sensing. So when I'm tapping into somebody and they say, Brad, can you help with my thymus? And I tap in and say, okay, yes, I definitely need some help. There's just an impression that there's a lot of debris there, and there's just a lot of impression that that needs to be dealt with. I'm not really clairvoyant, guys. I'll get little bits of flashes here and there, but I'm not a clairvoyant psychic, right? More of my connections to the psychic energy is more so connected to clairempathy and claircognizance. Okay, those are my two strong traits. I'm not a clairvoyant. You do not have to be a clairvoyant to be a healer. Okay, that is a belief system. So again, that's also what's holding you back from being a proficient healer. Don't worry about thinking that you have to rely on one psychic sense to feel that you're going to be a good healer. Okay, that's distortion. Use everything that represents the full attainment of your inner senses in totality. Okay, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, your claircognizance, your clairempathy, your clairsentience, all of it, right? Make it all available. Use all of your inner senses. I'm not going to be perceiving the world if I'm doing this, and I'm going to not taste anything, and I'm not going to feel anything, but all I can do is look, right? I'm not going to have the full spectrum of understanding reality. If I'm covering my ears, if I'm plugging my nose, if I'm not willing to feel anything, right? It's silliness, right? So we're thinking the same thing when it comes to doing inner psychic work, right? Psychic work, use all of your senses. You don't just have one sense, you have many, right? There's even more psychic senses than there are physical senses, even psychic senses that we don't even really know about right now. So use the full spectrum of all of your senses rather than just relying on one, okay? It's exactly what Adronis has said in the past as well, too. Even to me, because I was like really big in clairvoyance. I said, yeah, I want to get more clairvoyant, etc. Says you don't always need it, right? You're more calibrated towards this type of sense. But bring all of your senses together into awareness, because no matter what you have, you're always going to have some subtle vibration of that psychic sense. Even if it's clairvoyance, even if your clairvoyance isn't very strong, it's there, right? And it's a subtle sense. And you can work together with those subtle senses as well, too, okay? Use all of yourself. Don't just use a part of it. Okay, that's what I can share about that. Okay. So just going to move down the list here. I'm going to move way down the list now. It's kind of going up into the top. Okay, here's a very interesting one here from James. I like the name. Did God create all souls at the same time, or are new souls always being created, and do we have soul families? It's a very good question, James. Okay. Now, it's really hard to answer this question because you're looking at a domain of souls that occupy a different realm altogether. Okay. What I can basically state is that there are sequences relating to the idea of the development of souls. Were all souls born at the same time? No, they weren't. Okay. But again, we're not able to really put a linear time perspective on that because I've been to the soul plane. I've seen my soul born, okay? And I did not see a whole crowded plane filled with souls. I saw a few other souls being born at the same time I was, just when I was looking at my soul essence in that way. And I was seeing this midwife angel, basically just pure spirit carrying my soul, and then just being able to fly over to like a vortex matrices. Okay, it's like a portal in that way, and it deposited my soul in there, and all of a sudden I went blank. Okay, from what I've also received from spirit is that yes, there was a particular point where there were countless souls that were completely developed in the soul plane, and they were all being deposited in these vortex matrices. It's almost like looking at a honeycomb in that way, but there's like a light womb, like a womb where souls are being extracted. And it's all these midwives, these angelic midwives that are coming in, they're taking the souls and they're depositing it in those vortex matrices. But again, it's like honeycomb, like cells in that way. And so I can't really answer that question, right? It's basically saying that there are different sequences. It all depends in regards to one's perspective when they go up into the soul nursery and they start seeing themselves born. This came completely by surprise to me. I was meditating, and then one of my guides came through, and she was in her angelic form, and she said, "Brad, do you want to go see your soul being born?" I'm like, okay. So she was pulling me up, and I was getting the vision of just going up into this kind of soul nursery. And like I said, there were just these midwife angels. They were just like pure rainbow spectrum colors. They were very, very beautiful. They weren't kind of like what you would understand as a typical angel. They kind of looked like more like etheric beings, but they just had like this beautiful, it's kind of like almost like a I wouldn't say maybe like a tail, but just like rainbow spectrum energy is really, really beautiful. But they were basically picking up these souls and depositing them into these matrices. And so that's what happened with mine. When I was trying to tap into my soul, there was nothing. It was complete clean slate. Did not know who it was, did not know what it was, anything of that nature. It was like looking at a newborn baby being born. Okay, and then we get deposited into the vortex matrices, and after that, boom, it's a blank. So again, we come into God's universe to understand what it's like to be a soul. This is what we're doing, guys. We're figuring ourselves out, right? So we've been in the higher planes. We've been in planes below that. We've gone into the astral planes. We've gone into the physical planes. We are all attempting to understand what life is all about. We are understanding every cycle of life, every facet of life. This is the soul's task, okay? This is basically what Spirit is telling me right now. We go into God's universe to understand about how the entire construct of the universe works, not through the aspects of technicality or science, but through the idea of the living science. Looking into the idea about how life itself flourishes upon a planet, upon a star, upon a galaxy, right? And it continues to expand, and looking at all facets of life. We have to understand every single facet of life that's in this universe. That's our goal as a soul, because that's helping us to get a grander understanding of ourselves. Once we come into a greater state of harmony and we start moving up into those higher levels, and now we reach a type of universal graduation, God now says, "To you, my son, to you, my daughter, this universe is now yours." So now a whole new universe is created, and now you are God of that universe. And you can already access components of that universe right now, okay? Not the totality of it, but you're already tuning into aspects of that. And it becomes greater and greater and greater as you move up the plateaus of dimension, of density, etc. But as you start to form a harmony with all living things, because we all share each other's lives, we all share the life spectrum, right? The life science. That's what we are attempting to learn the most. And now we start going up these plateaus, these higher dimensions, and then we reach a state eventually of universal graduation. And now your parent gives you the mainframe of a universe and saying, here's your universe now. Go ahead and create it, right? So now you're creating everything, and it's all coming back to your parent. So it's amazing. God is just enjoying all of the splendor of her children, his children, to continue to create. And now they have their own gigantic mainframe where they start creating life. And now those life forms, those souls, that this particular soul is now able to spawn from themselves as a I guess you could say like a godlike oversoul, is now able to spawn souls like God oversoul. And now that those souls that were spawned from you are now going to learn about living in harmony with the universe. And there may be some dualities coming forward in that particular way as well too. But you're learning all about the idea of God's universe. That's exactly why we're here. We're all deposited in here so that we can be trained. Okay? God's in training. So we are not the one true God, but we are gods because we are sons and daughters of the Most High. And so we come into this universe, we start to understand the scope, a grander spectrum of life science. And then we move ourselves up the plateau, we reach a state of graduation, we go into that other universe, and now we are God of that universe. And now we start spawning souls. We start having soul nurseries. And souls start spawning from there. And it's the cycle of life, the cycle of this effect of the universe, over and over and over again. From the sons and daughters of God that have been able to understand the life science, they are now able to go to another universe through themselves and create what their parent has taught them. Pretty amazing, huh? That's what it's all about. That's why we're all here. We're all attempting to understand what it is to be a soul, what it is with the idea of the living energies, the living consciousness, the living science. That's basically why we're here, okay? All right. Greetings from the Netherlands. Much love and blessings. Thank you very much. Blessings to you guys. Okay. Okay, I have one here from Francis. I'm kind of just going random here, guys. I might scroll up and down the chat here, just whatever catches my eye here. Francis says, greetings. Thank you for all you do. I would love Adronis' take on the Jesus narrative since ancient Greece to Egypt, Indian mythology, and so on. It seems to be a repetitive theme in human history. That's a big, big topic, Francis. Basically, if we're looking at the Jesus theme in that way, because you're talking about narratives since ancient Greece to Egypt, Indian mythology. Yeah, that's a little too deep to go into. Okay, so Francis, as much as I would love to do that, that's going to probably take like half an hour to share all that information. What I can share in short relating to the Jesus narrative in that way is that this is kind of a little bit off topic, but really all of the great masters that have been a part of our earth, from the idea of Krishna, from the idea of Jesus, from the idea of Buddha, put any other particular name in there, they all have the same message, right? It's all about having the same message. They carried themselves differently, but they were all talking about the idea about how to connect back home, to go back up into heaven, to go to nirvana, to become part of the Krishna spirit, to become part of the Christ consciousness, right? All the narrative really is the same, but they bring about different perspectives of that, right? Even when we're looking into, other prophets, Prophet Muhammad, etc. All of these avatars, as I would call them, were all meant to come to the earth, and basically they represent a type of sovereign soul, okay? The sovereign soul within themselves held this information so grand from spirit directly, and they came in and they started to go through very, very dark times at first, and then they rose themselves up. That includes Jesus, okay? Jesus was not always, roses and sunshine. There were times in his childhood where he got very highly abused, where he was actually, in that sense, hurt a lot, very, very abused, very hurt. And so it took him a lot as well, too, to get past that. There were times in his youth, in that sense, where he was going through sin trials, where he basically said that he was without sin. It's because he was able to clean all that up. He was able to clear all that up. He was able to dedicate himself to the practice, to connect with the Father and become the voice of the Father, right? And having the Holy Spirit placed upon him and sharing all this information, okay? So similar aspects can be seen with Buddha, can be seen with Krishna, can be seen with Muhammad. All of these avatars went through very, very tough times and then rose themselves up because they hit a breach, okay? This is what I talked about before relating to the idea of the breach. Everybody hits it, okay? Doesn't mean everybody's going to start soaring up, but you'll hit the breach. And it might take you a couple of lifetimes. It might take you, hundreds of years in spirit, however it works, for you to sail yourself back up, because there's people that wallow when they go into the breach, right? They hit themselves here, the breach happens, and they're kind of like this. They're kind of floating in water. And then all of a sudden something happens, and they start skyrocketing. Everybody will eventually skyrocket as well, too. But you could spend thousands of years in the spirit world just floating like this, right? And then something happens and you start to soar, okay? So unfortunately, Francis, it's just a little too much information for me to go into today with that. But again, if you want to do a session with Adronis and ask him about that, that's great. But it would just take too much time to really go into that narrative, okay? But I appreciate the question nonetheless. Thank you. Okay, here's an interesting one here from Lightspeed 612. Hi, Brad. Do we have soul names that are more relevant than our human names? Absolutely. Yeah, you do. like the name Adronis for me would represent a vibration of that particular soul name. But some of them can be just very, very simple sounds. Some of them can actually be sounds without vowels, right? So if you were basically looking at CKCC, right, that could be the name of a particular soul, right? It's like if we were looking at Yahweh, right, YHWH, that would actually be a very common soul name, right? We're looking at that as the name of God in that way. But basically, when we're looking at souls, I've noticed that when there's soul names, sometimes there can be vowels, but it's almost like a very simplistic thing. It's almost like something you can vibrate within yourself, right? So if I'm basically looking at an appropriation for my soul, it would be DRNS, right? Dronus. And then it kind of sounds like a Dronus, right? The A is added, and the O is added, and the I is added. But basically, you would take that out, and that would be an aspect configuration of my own soul name, right? So Dronus. And that, right? Dronus, right? Trying not to say the vowels in that way. So soul names would be very much like that. It's something that you could vibrate in resonance together. I don't always know being soul names. Sometimes it's not given to me. This is, again, where you have to do your work with your higher self. Do your work, right? Go into your higher self, start connecting with your higher self and saying, higher self, what is my soul name? And you may receive something, okay? But basically from ones who I have been able to receive, again, sometimes they do have vowels, but some of them don't. But it's something that you can vibrate in resonance through your body, okay? And then you start getting that high vibrational pitch, and now you'll start feeling a very strong connection to your soul. You'll feel this light gathering around you. You can feel like just going off into another dimension as you vibrate that energy. So that would be a recommendation for something that I would suggest you all try. Connect with your higher self and see how it goes. And that's one of the other questions as well too. Brad, how do I connect with my higher self? Connect with your higher self. Look at yourself in a mirror and just start seeing all of this light coming down around you. Have a big smiling face around you. Start to see yourself somewhat illuminated a lot more, okay? Create that as a template, as an image that you can use to connect with your higher self. And just seeing that template of yourself in that illuminated state as the higher self and work with that. And that form may start to change over time the more that you work with your higher self. But that's a good way to start. Just see yourself as being divine. See your divine self of who you are right now. That's a good template to start with your higher self and connecting with that and going into meditation and seeing how far that can take you. Again, the form may change. Okay. Okay, here's one here. I think I'll do one with Adronis. So this one is from Tom Madness. Adronis, can you talk about how individuals create good or bad fortune in their lives? What makes the winner win and the loser lose in nature? Okay, one moment as I bring Adronis through for that. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius. We send love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning into this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. And we shall speak to Tom relating to your question about winners and losers in that way. What makes a winner succeed? What makes a loser lose? Well, you're only looking at the spectrum between two things, lack and love. That's the whole idea. Is that when you're looking into the idea of true success stems from confidence. That's the idea to where one feels that things are coming their way. They don't doubt it. They have absolutely no doubt within their mind that what they are intending will come to pass. Everything, again, relating to your own thoughts, your own intentions, your own focus, comes through you. And these waves are broadcasting throughout the holographic mirror interface of the universe and coming back to you, where you are pure of heart through your intentions. Your confidence is pure. Your success is pure. Therefore, it comes together because there's nothing within those waves that represent any form of doubt. It's like one person who is able to get up out of their couch and start to walk and go to their kitchen and make a meal. There is no doubt within that sequence that that person was able to get up out of their couch, go to the kitchen, and make themselves a sandwich. There was no doubt between that. That is what you would refer to as a clean sequence. So when you're looking into the idea of your emotional energies, of your mental energies, starting to project certain states of intention that are pure of heart, there's no resistance behind it. It's when a person is in lack is because they don't believe in what they're asking for. They don't feel they're worthy. They don't feel they deserve to receive what they wish to receive, and they stay in lack. Oh, this would be a really, really good idea for me to do this type of work. Oh, but I can't do that. There's no way that that can happen. I'm not good enough for that, etc., etc., etc. They sabotage themselves the moment they even try to think of this intention. And that comes through the idea of lack. When you're looking at a winner and a loser, this is only in that sense a polarized term. You're only looking at something in black and white. But when you're looking into the idea of what is truly attainable through yourself, needs to come through purity. We look at it as purity and impurity, love and lack. And there is a great spectrum between all of those. So whenever you're looking at someone in that sense who may feel like they have ill fortune, that they may not be able to get themselves up off the ground, they're not on their own side. They rely so much on what other people are telling them that they buy into the other self-gospel. And they apply that to themselves. Someone told me I'm no good, so I'm going to continue to align to feeling no good. I'm going to feel like I'm going to sabotage every single thing that I put out through intention, and it won't come back, it'll just be distorted. Well, that's exactly what they're thinking, and they're stepping on these vibrational landmines, and they become sabotaged. Not because somebody else sabotaged you. There's nobody else here to sabotage you. It's because you are buying in to what the hologram is bringing back to you. When you meet another person, that person is a hologram. What we mean by that is not to say that they're not a soulful being, but they are a hologram representing your archetype. It is the emotions in between that interlock you two, that forms a relationship bond between the self and the other self. You as this physicalized hologram, and that other as a physicalized hologram. And it is the emotion, it is that orb of energy in between, and it is this very emotion that bonds you two together. That emotion can be anything. It can be happiness, it can be joy, it can be love, or it can be hatred, it can be jealousy, it can be fear. But nonetheless, something is bonding you together based upon that emotional tie. And when you start to work with that emotional tie, if you feel it's something that no longer serves you, you lift your energies up so high, you no longer see a validation pertaining to that emotional integration between the two of yourselves. It now starts to dissipate, it starts to fade away. And now you no longer have any particular form of valid relationship because there's no emotional synergy that's connecting the two of you together to still be compliant and coherent within each other's reality. That's why we refer to the law of attraction rather as the law of coherency. It's a greater understanding than just the idea of attracting things to you. So we call it the law of coherency because it really relates to the nature of relationship. It relates to emotions. It relates to what you are able to build synergy together. What becomes simpatico between you and another self. So if you're noticing that there is a quote-unquote bully within your life, you are feeding them the emotions that's making them a bully to you. You feel that you're playing the role of a victim, a person who has been abused, a person that has been hurt, and you're creating them as this mighty tyrant over you. As long as you continue to create that, that person will be in your life. But when you start to bring love energy and you start to raise yourself up higher and higher and higher, and you're now able to completely harmonize that emotional state, it goes blank. Now, reality will create some particular type of event where that person will no longer be a part of your life. Because that emotional state that brought you two together as an anchor, as a magnet, is no longer there. It dissipates because you have cleared it with love energy. Love energy always brings you up to the sky view, as it were. When you're in the base level, you're on the ground. And the ground can be filled with muck, it can be filled with tar, it could even be filled with pleasant sand, yes, of course. But nonetheless, it is the base vibration. It is where you feel that everything pertaining to solidity, to weight, to heaviness exists. And then when you move yourself up into the lightness of love, you're like that balloon that Brad himself even described. That's exactly where you're going. When you move up into love vibration, you see the emotion for what it is, and now you clear it away with love. That bully is now no longer a part of your life. So you're only being a victim because you're playing the role of it. You have validated yourself of being a victim. You have validated yourself of feeling worthless. You have validated yourself relating to the aspect of loss. Because what you're doing is you're giving so much power to lack. You're not giving any power to your love. And those, again, who bring all these things together have that natural confidence because they are absolutely certain that all of this will come together with them. They may not even be, in that sense, in a full state of love, but they require some of that energy to come into the confidence of themselves to know that this can be achieved. So confidence in that sense is all a part of your natural alignment in moving into a certain degree of love. It comes into that degree. Even if that person may not fully love themselves in other ways, they love themselves in the idea of being confident to know that this can happen. That, in a nutshell, would represent the aspect of the hemispheres between the love and the lack quotient. We thank you very much. Okay, great. Thank you, Tom, for your question. All right, so we're almost out of time, guys. I'm going to probably take one more question, and we're going to wrap up. Okay. And again, I'm just kind of scrolling up and down the the chat here randomly. I know there's some good questions on here, but like I said, if I was to basically answer them, it would take a very, very long time because these things aren't just easily answered. Okay, here's one here from Zach Hader. Thank you. One person who is in a position of perceived authority orders another person to kill someone. Who takes the karmic responsibility? The one doing the ordering, or the one committing the deed, or both? Well, if a person feels that they have to follow an authority to kill another person, then basically the act itself on a much more higher karmic level would be the idea of the one committing the aspect, right? Now, there, of course, is certainly karmic ties between both individuals, right? So the person in that sense who's saying, I want you to go into the room and I want you to kill the next person in the room there. Person takes up the gun and says, okay, no problem. Poof, right? And shoots. So basically, in that sense, they would be at that particular level of high karma, but the one basically carrying out the deed would be worse because they're the one that's actually ending that life of innocence, even though there's an influencer in the background in that way. So basically, you could see it as the one who's committing the deed here and the one who's basically carrying out that deed about here, right? Now, again, they basically have a lot of that particular type of karmic energy to work off of. Now, basically, if you have a person that says, okay, I want you to pick up that gun, I want you to go in the next room, and I want you to kill that person sets the gun down and says, there's no chance I'm ever going to do that. I'm leaving. And now this person starts to shove them and saying, hey, are you not doing what I'm saying? I said to go and do that. And that other person says, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do anything of that nature. Now, this person gets enraged, right? Now, their actions in regards to wanting blood in that way is becoming a lot more accelerated. So this is all part of a scenario perspective, almost like you could measure with a gauge, right? But again, the whole idea relating to karma is all based upon actions. That's all it is. It doesn't always have to be a negative or a positive thing. When you're looking into the nature of your karma, you're looking into the deeds committed through action, okay? So like I said, when that person wants that person dead but can't do the dirty work themselves, they have to get another person. Yes, that person who wants that other person dead, again, has a pretty strong state of anger. But they can't carry it out themselves. So they have to get another person to come in and do the deed. And so when that person actually harms that innocence, kills that innocent person, yeah, that's a skyrocketing of being able to try to answer for the actions caused. And that's all karma is. Answer for your actions, right? So when that person transitions, they are going to go into the life review and they're going to remember that aspect and they're going to feel all of the pain that they caused that person, that they ended that person's life, and they're going to feel all of the pain that that person experienced with that. The same thing with the orchestrator. When the orchestrator transitions and he goes into the life review as well too, he's going to feel the pain of the person that caused that death, and he's also going to feel the pain of the person that has actually been affected by that. So the person who is the orchestrator is actually getting much more intense pain and intense energies than the person that caused the deed. Right? That's kind of the interesting thing when you're going into the life review. So again, when you're looking at the idea of one who's actually causing the death of innocence, yes, that's a very, very intense karmic deed to answer for. But the person who's orchestrating that, when they transition and they actually see that in life review, they will actually have a much more intense thing to look at, because they are responsible for feeling exactly how that person feels that committed the deed and the person that died, and feeling all of that emotional overwhelming as well too. So that's kind of like a double impact pertaining to that person back. So it's a very good question, Zach. Again, thank you very much for bringing that out. Again, it's not always looking at positive and negative karma. Really, when we're looking at karma, we are looking at the nature of our actions. Our actions. Can we be held accountable for our actions? You're always held accountable for your actions, because everybody is linked. Everybody is connected. Everybody is one with you. So anytime you're harming another person, you're going to feel it. That time of life review is going to come, and you're going to feel what it was like for you to harm that person. I talked about this in the last episode of New Earth Teachings, right? When you're basically going into the life review, nobody is exempt from it. Everybody will experience their life review. Even if you lived a very, very good life, there's still going to be those instances where you've harmed somebody else or you've harmed yourself, and you're going to look back into those emotional overlays and connecting back with that and saying, oh yeah, I remember I felt that. Because we're doing that to helping us learn ourselves a lot more about how to serve innocence, how to work with love. This is exactly how we graduate from the universal matrix. We graduate from that, from the idea of being able to feel the purity of love for every living thing, that there is no animosity, there is no conflict, there is no harshness, there's nothing relating to this debris of harm whatsoever. It's all pure love. It's all unconditional. And when you get to that level, now you become a graduate. You move up into a universal God. And now you create your own universe, and now you start the life science. And now you start spawning souls. You create a soul nursery, and all of those souls start to occupy the universe that you have created, because they will be your children, and you are going to work with them. You are going to be aware of every grain of life that exists. You're going to be the essence of the life science. You are going to be the immaterial plane, and you may even choose a planet that you feel is completely yours, and you're going to work with a very powerful race, right? Just like what we're experiencing right now on this planet. Earth is a planet that God himself has chosen. And there is a master race relating to this planet. And it's everybody. It's everybody on this planet. And then we are going to graduate from this planet, and then we're going to seed other worlds. And then humans are going to be on many other different worlds, and they're going to continue to help others. There may be hybrid humans as well, too. All these different things happening. But what we're seeing with a lot of the extraterrestrials as well, too, is it's our quote-unquote future coming back into our quote-unquote present, and being able to help along in that way as well, too, because they are higher versions of ourselves, you could say, in that way, coming back to help humanity through a very dark time, because we certainly need that help. Okay, so thank you very much, Zach, and thank you, everybody, for your questions, for your healing requests. I really appreciate it. So we're back next week, next Friday, at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you again, everybody, for your presence today. I really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.